Steve Martin paid $850,000 for a painting that wasn't real. And somehow, that fake masterpiece fooled the entire art world. Here's the question that started it all. Can you tell the difference between what's real and what's fake? Because Steve Martin, one of the smartest, sharpest entertainers alive, thought he could. And he spent nearly $1 million to prove himself wrong. This is the story of how the man who played con men on screen became the victim of one of the most brilliant art scams in history. Picture it, Paris, early 2000s, a quiet gallery, marble floors, paintings so rare they feel like secrets whispered through time. Steve Martin strolls in, calm, curious, confident. He's not here to buy, not yet, just to look. Then he sees it. A painting that stops him cold. Colors exploding like fireworks. Figures half-formed, wild, alive, like they're breathing through the canvas. A lost 1915 piece by Heinrich Campendonk, a German expressionist whose works almost never appear. For Steve, it's like spotting a comet. Rare, fleeting, meant for him. I have to have it. One signature, one promise, one treasure. $850,000 later, it's his. He hangs it proudly in his home, shows it in exhibitions. Critics rave, experts nod. Everything seems perfect, until it isn't. For years, the painting shines in his collection. The paperwork? Flawless. The gallery? Prestigious. The story? Perfect. It had to be real, right? But every masterpiece hides a secret, and this one was about to reveal its own. Meanwhile, across Europe, in a quiet German studio filled with dust and sunlight, a man named Wolfgang Beltracchi was painting history from scratch. He wasn't copying famous paintings. Oh no. He was creating new ones. Works that never existed, but should have. He studied every pigment, every brushstroke, every microscopic crack of time itself. And his wife, Helene, she handled the rest. Fake provenance papers, forged labels, even old family photos that made every fake seem authentically ancient. Together, they didn't just make forgeries, they built an entire alternate reality. And the world bought it. Galleries showcased them. Museums hung them. Experts praised them. Collectors paid millions. For nearly 15 years, no one suspected a thing. Because let's face it, people don't just buy art. They buy the feeling of being right. Then, one tiny mistake changed everything. A pigment test, a color called titanium white. Scientists discovered it inside a painting supposedly from the 1920s. Except, titanium white didn't even exist until the 1950s. It was like finding a USB port in an ancient pyramid. The illusion shattered. The investigation began. And soon, the trail led straight to Wolfgang and Helene Beltracchi. Dozens of galleries exposed, millions lost, reputations destroyed. And among the victims, Steve Martin. The man who'd spent his life mastering irony had just become the punchline of the greatest art con ever pulled. His lost Campendonk? Nothing more than a perfect lie. You'd think he'd be furious, right? But Steve Martin? He laughed. He told reporters he was just glad he didn't pay more. Still, behind that laugh, you can feel something deeper. Beltracchi didn't just forge paintings. He forged desire. He understood that collectors didn't want truth. They wanted the myth. The story that made them feel special, chosen, part of history. And the experts? They didn't want to question him either. Because in the art world, admitting you were fooled means losing everything. So they didn't look too close. They saw what they wanted to see. Just like we all do sometimes. Wolfgang Beltracchi once said, I could have been a great artist if I wanted to be. Maybe he was, just not in the way he imagined. Because for a few wild years, he didn't just paint on canvas, he painted reality itself. And Steve Martin? He learned something every dreamer eventually does. Sometimes, the things that move us most are built on beautiful illusions. So, let me ask you this. If you discovered that something you loved wasn't real, would you stop believing in beauty? Or would you keep looking for it anyway?